where we are. What's going
on? So, if you want to go ahead, you can. I was just going to read through my notes.
No, go for it.
Okay, cool. Well, we started off with Mindy and Rotha, gathering Iffy and treating her. Mindy was in charge of the arm. Successful, still fucked up though. Iffy had a weird fucking vision dream that has a lot there that's gonna need to be unpacked at some point. Did you sit rep with Tia, Vi, and Zavik? Confirmations of where people are going before they split up again. Kana was still tailing the peoples. And gets some more infos on the two of them, two of the sus guys she was following. They're able to negate pad 3, so now they just need to look at pads 2 and 5. And I think Kana, Vilexa, and Kane are all going to go to pad 2 after they got back in contact and compared notes with everything that they found. Meanwhile, Tia, Zavik, Mindy, Iffy, and Roth are over at his clinic acquiring the Iffy.
That sounds about right.
Yes. Honorable mention. Kana tried to yoink something. Didn't work out very well. And instead of hiding behind a corner, which we all thought she would do, Kana tries to run and dive for the device instead. And that leads to an encounter that was really cool. Just honorable mention.
Survive.
Mm-hmm.
Not after taking a good little chunk of strain.
Yep.
That I remember.
Yeah, her Leiku got bonked.
Nice headache going on.
Mm-hmm.
Meow.
I hear somebody's cat.
Meow.
He wants to go outside and find a friend.
So,
No.
question about the Leiku is like getting your Leiku bonked the equivalent of like a sack tap?
God, it probably fucking is, ain't it?
In a way that I don't want to think about too hard, yes, in some ways worse.
Well, if your sack was also your brain.
I feel like for a lot of people that is the case, though.
I wasn't gonna go that far. I stopped myself.
You know what, guys? Good session. I'm going to bed. Good night.
No, come back.
This is fucking sounds just like the goddamn Willy Wonka meme, just like, no, don't stop, come back.
But yes, you all had kind of figured out your various what was going on, started to reconvene with each other one by one. Found out where Iffy was. Found out Iffy was fucked up. Leaving the other three to head towards the docks. The reminder that the station is still under... Skip 1 is still under lockdown. Essentially, the picture that you see on your screens would be what the docking bay for the smaller ships is for Skip 1, but the open space to the bottom and to the front would be charged and covered with a shield to prevent people coming in and people leaving. Now, without a significant amount of fight and struggle beforehand. And Kane, you're the first one to set off in that direction, so we shall start off with you.
All right, let me just crack open my drink. Go
You
on.
you had finished talking to a former informant that Hylumia had introduced you to a long time ago, and managed to get some decent information out of them. Right before you saw the letter from Iffy and received your call from Kana, or not Kana, from Tia. So there is a lot going on right now, not to mention the little sense in the back of your mind of Kana not being super happy and more than a little stressed out in a way that you feel like is separate from what's going on, but you're not sure because you can't really communicate that strongly from the distance you're at. And you are heading through the tunnels, trying to keep a low profile as you're making your way closer and closer towards the landing bay, towards the space dock. Where's Kane's head in this moment?
Kane, I had decided this after he read Iffy's message. Kane is in not a good place. Both, like, no, really just, he's just not in a good place. He's very focused on what is immediately tangible right now, which is getting to this dock and figuring out what's going on. He's a bit in a brash mood, and also a little impatient.
So, as you're heading towards the space docks, you see crowds have kind of stopped moving around a whole lot. Between the fight that you and Kana had that set everything off, the various rounds of gunfire that have gone off, some of the reignition of worries as a few people in the main chambers heard another seemingly lightsaber fight going on. People have found their hunkering down spots and have hunkered down for the most part. Most of the people that you see as you're starting to get closer and closer to the space docks are crews, are smugglers, captains, are people that have been hired on, are mercenaries. Not that those are not the main body of what you see through Skip 1 in general, but you're more than aware enough to know these are probably people that have ships actively at the moment. And are either heading back to their ship, just coming out of their ship, or just kind of hanging around in that kind of liminal space of what is essentially the airport for Skip 1. And you see, as you turn a corner and you see the opening towards the space dock itself, the space dock proper. One or two pretty large, pretty well decked out individuals that are just kind of leaning on the corners between the dock, the tunnel, that you assume to be security of some sort. They're not stopping anybody from coming and going, but their heads are on a swivel looking into the tunnel and then back out and across what they can see in front of them from probably about the third level up. And then back into the tunnel again, just keeping an eye on everything that's going on and trying to spot anybody of interest. What is Kane doing here? How is Kane approaching all of this?
Kane is going to approach it very stealthily, as stealthily as he can, at least. But the goal is to figure out if the ship docked here at Port 2 is at all involved with what our overarching mission is. Like, just to determine, like, is there any sort of thing to be suspicious about in relationship to the Bacta smuggling ring? And if no, then he knows which dock to go to. If yes, then it's going to become a bit more complicated. So first job is to assess whether or not they're involved.
So you're able to you zoom in over on this portion of the map over here. Where's my clicky? Clicky. Yeah. You can assume and more fucking shitty doodles incoming. That like this I'm gonna fight Foundry here. Here we go. That's the tunnel that you're coming through, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you'd have one work with me. Guard here, one guard kind of over in the corner off the side of the map where you can't really see him really well. So you could turn and go either direction along this pathway in front of the rock wall. It would be less metal, more rock that this is made out of. And kind of walk behind all of these ships that are parked. And for the most part, because they have been kept from moving, both in and out, most of the landing bays are now full. The you assume either the ones that were just kind of flying and like hovering out in the air or parked outside have been moved inside in part. Those that were already in their process of taking off have just been redirected and are probably the ones that are closer towards the entrance. And it's the specific dock that you're looking for is about 3 or 4 docks down from the tunnel you've exited from. About the closest tunnel that you could manage to get to. But it's still about 3 or 4 down. How is Kane? You know, you said he's stealthy. How is he like carrying himself? How is he stealthy in this moment?
So the most for Kane, the easiest way to be stealthy is to be nondescript. So he is going to act like he is supposed to be here by not shying away. Like he's until he sees people posted up with guns and they're like kind of wandering around, he's not going to hide behind any crates. He is going to very calmly like walk around like he's an employee slash person who is supposed to be here. He's just going to walk very confidently in whichever direction he needs to go. But if he needs to go down, like if he needs to go down like a level in a way that there's not another way to do it, he's going to have to probably climb over the edge down and get around that way. Is that sort of the assumption?
Well, the one that you're heading towards, you don't have to do that as of yet. Because
Okay.
you would just be like going this direction along a pathway
Uh-huh.
to like somewhere like vaguely over here. Come on,
Okay.
draw to another ship. Um, the other docking bay, because you guys have narrowed it down to 2, would be about 2 levels below.
Okay. So he will stride down the main thoroughfare uh to get to dock number 2. And as he is approaching, he's just going to scope it out. Just keep his eyes peeled. If there's nothing overtly suspicious or indicative to him, like, oh shit, it's the symbol that he's seen before. The I can't even remember what it's called. That symbol from God dang it, what is that symbol called?
The corporation's symbol. that what you're talking about?
I think the ones that are they're a weapons manufacturer, right?
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay, but there's nothing inherently ne'er-do-well-ish about that corporation on the surface. It's more
No.
like they're involved. They're just not. It's not like evil or us, right?
Yeah, no, there's nothing like
Yeah.
inherently concerning about them. Um because a lot of different companies end up with their stuff kind of being used by smugglers or like being used by cartel or other cartels and such. That's just the nature of a gun manufacturer is not going to always know where their gun goes.
Mm-hmm.
The concern, yeah, the sound's gone, Joe.
Oh, I forgot I minimized it. Sorry.
Um, the concern is more if you see their stuff on the opposing side. Or you see
Okay.
any of the corporations that you know to be working with the Republic, if you see any of their stuff on the opposing side, that shouldn't necessarily be happening.
Gotcha. Well, first thing to look for is that symbol, the symbol of the weapons manufacturer, because they are going to be present there. At least he would assume, but that's not necessarily indicative of that ship at that dock being directly involved. So that's like a very easy thing to look for. Check crates to see if there's anything like that, or shipping containers or any sort of similar structure, and then
So,
yeah, just kind of walk by and see that, and also keep eyes out for again, men with guns, big hired goon type dudes.
so as you're walking down and you start to see this dock come into view, you see one of the um, transport ships that you all had clocked on your original kind of wander through the space docks when you first arrived. It seems like it's stayed in its same position since then. Um, kind of parked almost crooked on its platform. Uh, but you don't know if that's just poor piloting or something strategic to a reason why they would park crooked, but kind of catty corner on their uh, platform. And you see that there has been some movement around it since you arrived. There's more crates and barrels and things you would associate with shipments of some sort that have been placed around. Um, and as you get a little bit closer, you see from the side that you're approaching on, first, the movement of two very large droids that are moving and lifting and heaving these crates and barrels and shifting them some onto hover carts, some onto platforms that lead back up into the ship. Um, there seems to be some sort of process, though you're not exactly sure what the process is.
Sorry,
Uh,
pause. Have to fix music because Firefox is being a shit. Wait. Go on.
and you're well versed enough in droids that one of the droids immediately jumps out to you of like, okay, that's a lifter droid. It's your standard kind of heavy equipment, heavy cargo moving type droid. The other one you're not quite able to peg quite as easily. If you would like, you could try to make a mechanics check at 3 purple.
I'm gonna try. Uh, 3 purple, which makes it perfectly even. greens to purples.
Okay.
Hey, 1 success.
As another type of droid that is very standard, 2 legs, 2 arms, you know it's not like an astromech, you know it's not a specialty like observation drone or anything like that. It is not a lifter drone or droid. By its build, lifter droids tend to be kind of more boxy in shape and have pretty powerful hydraulics and such in their arms and in their legs to help lift the heavier equipment. However, this one is, while still very large and while still very clearly built to be powerful, is not a lifter droid. So you would assume that this is perhaps a security droid of some sort, perhaps a very heavily modified type of kind of companion droid of some sort. It's a little bit harder to place because it's a little bit more human in shape, but still very clearly built for power. And as you're kind of watching, you also see in the movements under the ship the legs of 2 other droids that you assume to be on the opposite side that seem to be kind of mirroring the ones that you can see. So you assume on total, at least on the platform itself, you're not sure about on the ship, that you have 2 of these lifter droids, 2 of these other types of droids. And as you're kind of clocking all of that in your head and starting to count them down, you also see another bit of movement. Somebody walking down, climbing down a ladder on the side of the ship towards the front of it. And you see somebody that is very clearly humanoid or near human in shape and size, climbing down, landing, kind of wiping their hands like they had just finished working on something, and turning to say something to the droids that you're a little too far away to really hear what he is saying.
Can I read his lips?
Mm-hmm. You can try. That will be a perception at 3 and a black.
Perception at 3 and a black. I'm fine with this. I'm gonna give it a good old shot. Hey, lot of threat though. 4 successes and 4 threats.
So as you're kind of staring and squinting, trying to make out what he's saying, he seems to be directing the droids to hurry up and move something, and kind of put together some context clues from where he is pointing in the motions that he is making, that the crates and barrels and such that are further towards the end of the platform are supposed to be going on the ship. He's a little bit more concerned about getting those on the ship than getting the things onto the hover carts that you assume would be going into Skip 1 or elsewhere in the space dock. And you see something about, you're not sure, you think it might be a name, but you're not being able to place it. Somebody is supposed to be here, but is being lazy or being kept. You're not sure, but there's a little bit of complaining that seems to be happening about somebody that's being expected to be there not being there. And as you're standing there kind of watching, you have to stay still and kind of try to keep your angles to observe his lips and kind of put together what he's saying between his gestures and his body language and everything. And you're so distracted by this that you don't notice somebody coming your direction in the opposite way and essentially full on get shoulder checked by somebody. Turn and see a pretty large Chagruda man that has shoulder checked you, carrying a case of something or other. You're not sure what's in the case, just that it seems to be a pretty heavy duty case. And as you kind of are spun on your heel, the man just turns to you and gives you a pretty rude gesture in most languages in the galaxy. What the fuck are you doing?
Kane just like does the gaff of spinning around and hitting him, and just like, I'm checking to see if this is the right port I'm looking for. What are you doing? Where are you going? Whose delivery is that? He's not from. He did not walk. He's from further down the line. He is not at all related to Port 2, correct?
As far as you can tell.
As far as I can tell.
And this man just like kind of turns a little bit more, kind of seeming to be trying to square up with you. No, what the fuck do you care? You're just standing there gawping at nothing. And he's not being quiet about his accusations.
Oh fuck. Kane like is kind of floundering for a second because he's like taken aback, and now he's starting to process. Oh shit, this dude's unrelated. Oh shit, he's really raising his voice, huh? And he's like starting to try and figure out or scramble to figure out what he can put together. I just wanna roll to see if I can't decide between Kane trying to square up and Kane trying to fucking quiet him down or just bail. Yeah, so Kane like looks at this dude and looks at the box. How big and heavy does the thing he's carrying look?
It doesn't seem to be like overly large. We're not talking about like a giant crate. But it is like, as he's like turning to you and like gesturing with his hands and stuff, he's having to kind of juggle this box and shift it to one side, kind of balance it on a hip. And you would assume by the size of this man combined with his kind of slow movements, this is a pretty hefty crate of something or other. Probably full of metal or fiberglass or something that would have a good heft and weight to it. Probably 100 pounds plus or so.
Okay, so if this dude's he's carrying a sizably heavy box, and he's giving Kane lip about standing here gawking. Kane's like will flounder for a second and then like get really indignant, get this really irritated look on his face, and he'll put a hand on the box and just push a little bit to push the guy away from him in the direction that he was going. And he'll just be like, oh fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. Just, I was not standing here gawking. I was checking if this was the correct port. I'm late because of people like you who keep running into people and making them late. So why don't you deliver your package and get out of my way?
Fucking channeling the Iffy, aren't you? This, like, as you're reaching over and purposely trying to kind of throw this guy off balance. Let me see here. I will give you the option of a coercion or a streetwise roll.
Oh, this has got to be streetwise.
And you'll get 3. It's going to be a 3 purple, but I'll give you a blue because you are kind of showing off in a way that he was not expecting. Hell, this is a dude that's usually used to throwing his weight around and getting his way.
Okay, so three purple, but 1 blue. Let's go for it.
There you
6.
go.
Yeah, I'm rolling hot tonight. Knock on wood.
Let's say it's a little too early to say that. You square off with him and adopt this annoyed manner and push on this crate. He has no choice but to take us a little step back, trying to keep his balance and keep this crate up in his arms. And even though he takes a step back, he still keeps his shoulders squared in your direction, kind of puffed up, and you can see a little bit of color coming into his face kind of turning a deeper shade of purple than it normally is. And his mouth opens and then closes and then opens again. You need to you just need to get out of the way, otherwise you're just going to keep getting run into.
Kane just gonna raise his eyebrows at him and keep that indignant look on his face, and he's not gonna say anything. He's just gonna make a shooing gesture with one hand. Just shoot. Go on. Take your box. Go.
And this Togruta just kind of, again, opens his mouth, closes it, and turns on his heel and starts muttering under his breath in Huttese. It is very, very scandalous phrases he is using. Not anything that you appreciate being called in any way, shape, or form, but he is moving on.
Dude moves on, and Kane is internally just like, oh, thank God that worked. And he's gonna turn. Did anyone on that, on landing pad 2, overhear that exchange or see both of them?
Do you turn the 2 droids that you can see, at the very least, seem to be continuing their work, not caring in the slightest about anything that was going on. You do see that the man on the platform has kind of looked your direction, and there is just a little curious look, but he's immediately turned back to what he's doing. It's more of there's noises over there, I wonder what that was about, and has gone back to focusing on what he was doing.
Okay. Does that dude who Kane read his lips sorta earlier, the dude who was waiting to figure out because a person was supposed to meet him and they're not there yet, that dude's still visible, right?
Yeah, that's the dude that was looking at you.
Okay. If that dude makes eye contact with Kane will hold his hand up like a wave and snap his fingers a handful, 2 or 3 times, and then point to himself, and then point to that guy and start to walk towards him, to signal I'm the one you're looking for.
As you start to move towards him, you see an immediate look of confusion. But he doesn't stop you. He just starts to track your movements as you finish coming down the long path and then turning onto the dock that leads to the platform that the ship is on. And let me... I have this stealing. You have to look at the Discord. Oh, there you are. This is the man that you are confronted with.
Oh shit.
Standing an inch or two taller than Kane. Kind of similar build and broadness and such. Kind of athletic, slim. You see, he looks almost completely human except for a few spots on his forehead and on his temple that you're not sure if it's maybe some sort of cybernetic or cosmetics, or if he is in fact one of the very, very rare kind of human hybrids that are about the galaxy. Sometimes you can come across them and they have odd features. And as he kind of turns towards you, one hand on a hip and the other holding what looks to be a toolbox, you see that this man is carrying several weapons. But again, that is not out of place on skip 1.
Not too out of place. Question. Do I see any of that weapon dealer's symbol? On the ship, on the crates, on the guns, anywhere?
Roll me a perception at 3.
3 purple. 2 success, 1 advantage.
So as you look around and kind of scan over everything, you get a little bit better look at the droid legs under the ship, and you are certain that it is, in fact, a 2-and-2 split between the 4 droids. 2 lifters, 2 of the same kind of other droid. Now that you're a little bit closer, you're pretty sure that those are several generations old, repurposed and retooled security droids.
Mm-hmm.
Which again is relatively common amongst smugglers, of them picking up scrap droids or droid pieces that have been abandoned and retooling them and reusing them to serve whatever purpose they can manage to make them work for. And as you're looking around, you see here, you do see a couple of symbols that you recognize on various crates and barrels around. Several of the crates that you see towards the walkway leading to the platform have very small, very kind of hidden off to the corner symbols of some of the minor Hut cartel members. Not the cartel as a whole, but members that have smaller stakes in various planets and perhaps control 1 or 2 planets here and there within Hut space. You also see here a single barrel that brings back an unpleasant memory for you. The Haxian Brood.
Ha ha ha.
Which, if these are both positioned, Kane, again, is Underworld aware enough? This is somebody that is working as a go-between, a smuggler for hire, not connected to any particular individual group. I gotta sneeze. Give me a second.
Gesundheit. 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 I'll get it eventually.
You got a couple of them, because when I sneeze like 5 times in a row.
Oh, you're one of those.
Yeah, it takes me a second. So, what was I saying?
Haxian Brood, Smuggler, who's probably unaffiliated with any of the groups directly, but seems to be a go-between.
And you do see on a few crates about halfway up the platform, positioned in such a way that you're not sure if it's going or coming, a crate that does have the Zerka mark on it.
Okay. I have another question. Kane is not the most familiar with droids in their various makes and models and whatever. But does he recognize any of the droids' make and models enough to know if their name would ring a bell from the info that Wes gave him?
This will be a pretty hard check, but you can try for another mechanics roll if you would like.
I'm gonna give it a shot.
It'll be 4 purple.
4 purple. Fuck. Fuck it. We ball. Damn it.
Those are droids. You are already proud of yourself for immediately knowing the lifter droids and then being able to be like, yeah, that's a casing for or a remodeled, repurposed security droid.
Okay. There's a slight underlying note of panic in Kane's mind, but he's just gonna shove that deep down inside and not think about it because right now it is the time for bullshittery. So before Kane gets within like talking distance of this dude, Kane is going to he's wearing that like jacket that Kana swiped for him. Kane is going to start to take off that jacket and very surreptitiously try to unhook his lightsaber from his belt and stuff it in his jacket and then hold it, like fold his jacket over his arm, like, you know, I'm just too hot. I don't want to wear my jacket anymore. So he's just gonna take his jacket off. Nothing suspicious there. And he underneath that jacket, Kane is wearing pretty like kind of mundane close fitted black clothing. Something very nondescript. But he will hide his lightsaber in the fold of his jacket in his arm. And Kane is just gonna open up strong with this guy and be like, I believe you're looking for me. I'm a little bit late. I got held up at another port.
And the man kind of looks you from head to toe as you approach, watching you very, very closely, but though there is very clear distrust in the posture, there is also not aggression as of yet. And as you step a little closer and greet him. There's a frown. And you see the head to toe taken, size up again. Remind me, I know what you just did with the lightsaber. The lightsaber is hidden for the moment.
Uh-huh.
Did Kane carry in any of his other weapons?
I don't think so. I might be wrong. If that was something noted down. Archivist Amy, do you have a canonical do you have proof that I would be wrong in saying Kane did not bring his other weaponry?
I have one question for you. Why would I note down what gear your character brings in? Why would
just
I
wanna
note
say-
down your character's wardrobe of the day?
You note down roll
I
results.
note down loot and important roles and stuff. I don't note down whether or not he chose this sword or that sword for the day.
I don't know.
For the record, because I was paying attention to what people were wearing that day, I don't think he brought his other weapons.
Like, I
I
know
think it's
he.
just a saber.
I know that he left his sword back on the ship. I remember you saying that. I was just not sure if you remember if you brought a blaster of some sort or not.
Well, you got 6 points, so if you didn't, you sure did.
No, Kane uses the blaster hilt on the lightsaber as a blaster.
Gotcha. Okay. So.
Thank you, outfit archivist.
Kira.
Tulpa Kira.
Yep. Outfits are important.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you approach, you can very clearly see and feel the sizing up that is happening. The head to toe, cataloging your stride, your stance, the lingering on like the shoulders and the waistline, generally the places that some sort of hilt or sheath would be carried. And then your eyes meet yours again. And there's a little kind of quirk to the mouth that you're not sure if it's a smirk or a sneer. All you know is that as his lip curls back just a little bit, it's not human teeth. That's sharp.
Ew.
And then he tilts his head. And who exactly are you?
Kane tilts his head and he's like, "Oh, we're using names now? That's not what I was told. Names are a liability."
And making assumptions is also a liability.
Kane will nod, and he'll look at all of the droids standing around. How many droids are there? Like 4?
4 that you have been able to see, yes. 2 on the side of the ship that you're on, and then 2 on the other side of the ship.
Kane will, like, he will very, he's not going to hide the fact that he's doing this. He, like, looks and nods his head towards each droid like he's counting in his head, and he'll look at this dude and be like, "You are correct, but my info is good. I count the correct number of crew. I count the correct number of goods," and Kane will make a very pointed look towards one of the crates that had some weapons in it. And then he'll turn and kind of gesture broadly to the dock with his open hand, and he's like, "And I correctly identify the dock. So, if it's not me, who could it be that knows all of this?" I don't own a token with vision.
Damn, neither do I.
Haha.
Ooh.
This could be very bad depending on what this map means.
Well, I'm praying for you.
I imagine Kane is like right about here.
Yeah, you can drag your token on. It would be
I can?
probably.
How?
Ish.
I can't do it.
Here.
Thank you.
And the stack of crates that you see on there would be on there, and like these circles would also be like stacks of things. You can also assume that these are also ships. Circles on either side. And as you look very pointedly at a crate, and then back at this man, he follows your gaze. And as you look back at him, his gaze is lingering on the crate. And there is some cogwheel turning in that head. You're not sure what. He slowly looks back towards you. Well, if you think that you're at the right place, then who am I to disagree? So long as you have the credits.
Joe gulped, but Kane nodded very, very calmly. Kane will hold up a hand, though, and then do like a nervous look over his shoulder. And turn back and say, "Not here. Meet me at my dock. Bring the goods there. I will have your payment. If it makes you feel more comfortable, I can pay you half now, half then. But we need to be discreet." And Kane will look over his shoulder again to emphasize the point of discretion, and then he'll look back and lean in a little closely and say, "There's been a Jedi spotted on the station."
And that curl of the lip returns. You can see there's an argument that starts to rise in response to what you're demanding. You mentioned the Jedi, and the argument pauses and catches in his throat. And he looks past you towards the walkway, towards the tunnels. Roll me. Gonna have to be a coercion.
Ugh.
At 3 purple.
Permission from the crew to
Do it,
use two
do
of
it,
our
do it,
Do it,
victory
do it, do it, do it,
points.
do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Please, God. You said, what is the difficulty? 3 purple?
Yes.
3 purple. Kane is super not good at coercion, but we're hoping. Ugh!
Ooh, canceled out.
As you have leaned forward, this man will actually step forward just a little closer into your personal space. Well, if you know there's Jedi around, then you know that I am not going to stick my neck out to be your delivery boy.
Hmm. And like he scrunches his nose for a second, obviously frustrated, and will tilt his head and acquiesce and say, "Fine, you may leave the goods here, and I'll see to it that they are picked up. Your job's done." So here's a question, DM. This is also a question related to partially, if not entirely, related to Iffy and Iffy's swollen bank account. Does Cade have access to it?
I would say that per sending over that letter, she probably did hook him up with the emergency access codes. If that's permitted, Z.
As the essentially the bank account for the crew. That's fine.
I'm gonna level with you, Chief. I've only got 1750 right now because I haven't said a word on screen yet.
That's, you know what? That's okay. Between the two of us, we get over the $2,000 mark. How much could this possibly be?
Oh, I'm sure. How much could it possibly be? I'm sure.
It's just an illegal arms deal. That's cheap.
Oh, dear God.
Right?
I mean, technically, she had that vision. She spoke into vision, right?
She did have that vision.
So
she could have got credits for last session, not this session.
Yeah, I've already added my last session credits.
Okay.
You can bet the second I said a fucking word, I added those.
So DM, this actually, I can't even really ask your permission with this because this has to be an in-character thing. So Kane will, like, again, acquiesce to the request and be like, fine, you can leave it here. And he will just kind of hopefully nudge in the right direction and be like, I trust you have our payment information. Like, yeah, you got the Venmo link. You can just send the request for money to that link, etc., etc. People don't hand credits over like dollar bills, right?
It's actually so slick.
Well, let me roll something. See if the dice are in your favor.
That'd be so slick if it does.
The curl of the lip turns into a little frown. And we're not to be approving the credit transfer.
So DM question. Am I left to interpret what that means as Kane, or can I clarify as approve the credit transfer? Does that imply that Kane is the one handing over the credits, or is he just the one to say, "Oh, all of it's good. Yep, you can send the invoice."
The implication
Mm-hmm.
is Kane would have seen one or two of these type of deals go down. Perhaps not participated, but seen it. Is that upon checking that the agreed upon items are there, usually what happens is the person that is buying is sending the credits, not that the person that is providing the items is requesting the credits.
So we are on the hook for money. Damn it.
And we'll pause you there. I believe the second person that was headed in this direction was in fact Vialexa. So,
What can I do here? Question mark.
it is up to you,
You're
but I gotta get you
literally
into
a
the
hacker.
scene.
You're a hacker, ma'am.
Make a fake account.
I didn't know I was allowed to do that. Okay.
Oh boy.
Well, we
You're a
don't know.
hacker, you have the ranged ass weapons, you have so many things you can choose to do. But I, number one, have to get you into the scene in general, period.
Fair enough.
Starbrain blasting.
Yeah, no more. You and Iris do not get podcast mode tonight. Your podcast mode is going to be ending very quickly. You set out from the fountain, cross the main cavern of Skip 1, and back towards the space docks. Kane did inform all of you that he was heading toward which dock he was headed towards, to investigate first. Are you heading to the same one, or are you trying to head to the other one?
Same one.
Okay. So, much like Kane, you make your way across the cavern and then up a level or two and through the tunnels, seeing that people have hunkered down in their respective homes and businesses, or assumedly onto their ships, determined to stay out of the way if anything particularly unpleasant starts. And you come out like Kane did on a tunnel a couple of docks away. This particular dock seems to be positioned kind of halfway between two tunnels leading into the asteroid itself. And you turn, start walking down the pathway right beside the rock of the asteroid. And where Kane was kind of coming from left to right, you are coming the opposite direction from right to left, giving you a pretty good clear view as you start to approach the dock and start to look towards the ship, seeing that it's still there, that in front of the ship, below where the cockpit is sticking out, two figures, one that you don't recognize, one that you most certainly do. Seems like Kane is talking to somebody. And, oh, the other man is very up close and personal with Kane in the moment.
So let's see. I don't know what's going on right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk past them and I want to get into Kane's line of sight, but a little ways away, just so he can see that I'm there.
So if you're trying to get into Kane's line of sight because of where he is positioned, the only way you could really do that is to turn and come up onto this other dock that is beside it. which is a different ship with
Sure.
different people.
Sure.
So as you kind of turn and start wandering onto this seems to be a relatively small excursion ship, something that would be attached to a larger ship that you assume is off of Skip One or somewhere else in this asteroid cluster. And sitting on the ramp up into the ship, you see two Rhodians, shoulder to shoulder, just kind of talking to each other at first. They seem to be almost having themselves a lunch. Looks like they all have kind of like bento boxes kind of in front of them. And as you step foot onto the platform, both look at you. And the conversation that they were having dies off.
Oh, don't mind me. Please continue.
And one of them, their antenna kind of twitches. They look to each other and they look back at you. And one kind of tilts their head. What are you doing here?
Oh, don't worry. I'll be gone in like less than a minute. I'm gonna try to like get him down. Like just like I want him to know that I'm here, because what I'm gonna try and do is like I'm gonna like put her like point to like her earpiece and then like send him a call, like so he can like discreetly answer it at some point, because I need to know what's going on, and I don't think getting up next to them is a good idea right now, so that's why I'm doing this.
Do you
Mm-hmm.
just ignore these two very confused Rhodians? Walk your way over to the edge. My Alexa is a very distinct figure that, Kane, you have no issue spotting this bright fuchsia woman. Next platform over.
Yes. So you see her just like tap her earpiece, like her point to her earpiece, and then like you quickly get like a call on yours.
Is that something Kane can discreetly take, or is this something like he can't? There's no real way for him to surreptitiously answer a call.
You can like, I imagine you can like activate the call, like tap the earpiece without drawing too much attention. But trying to say anything is not going to be able to be done.
Yep.
I figured we were gonna do the spy thing where it's like you're talking to him but also talking to me.
You know what? Kane, I got a better idea. So you point to your ear and just like signal to Kane to like pick up the phone. And Kane he tries not to break eye contact with the dude in front of him for very long. But when he starts getting the notification from via Alexa, he will open his mouth as if he's going to say something. And he's like, and then he'll stop and then like look surprised, hold up a finger, and then do the 1 minute. And he's just going to take a few steps away and turn around and answer the call and put one hand to his ear, like do the earpiece thing. He's like, business is important. And this could be like someone important. Who's to say? And he won't step too far away because he wants it to be in earshot, but he will take a few steps away while being in earshot, be like, good, we were just talking about you. I'm at the meeting site. They're requesting payment.
Gotcha. I understand. How much?
Kane will take a step, like turn towards the dude, and he will nod to the crates and such that are kind of around, and he'll say, "Ah, what is your fee?"
And this man, like, arms crossed as you took the call, is watching you very carefully. As you turn back to him and ask that question, you see this little crease between his brow. Finally, oh, considering all the trouble of this round, I think a little bit of an upcharge from last time is reasonable. 3 should suffice.
Kane will narrow his eyes, and he will say very, like, emphatically, just like, they feel they're entitled to an upcharge. 3K will suffice this time.
Do you have their account information?
No. Kane's like, eye twitches.
Kinda need that.
Yep. Okay. Racking my brain for how Kane can very surreptitiously ask, like, hey, so you know how you probably already sent us this? Can you just send us that one more time? I lost the email. I'm sorry.
You could be like, there's a problem with sending the information. Can you make sure your number is correct or something like that? You know, something to that end.
Kane like thinks about it. Like, he won't say anything in response to Alexa right about that right away, and he just kind of goes, He looks back at the dude and says, "Did you get the transfer?" Just like expectantly, like, "Yeah, we just sent it, no problem."
There's a pause before man reaches into a pocket, pulls out a data pad, and you see him start to kind of flick through it. After a moment, frown returns, looks back at Kane with a very kind of accusatory look. What, are your credits not good anymore?
Kane will feign ignorance, just like, "What do you mean? Our credits are so good. The best credits, in fact. How could they not be?" Just he'll like take one hand away from his earpiece for a second and be like, "Did the transfer not go through?"
How hard is it going to be to set up a dummy bank account, Z?
Not easy. Not in the moment like this.
It doesn't have to last long, I don't think, but I do think I need to quickly make one.
The alternative is begging Z for the use of a hero point for liquidating some of Iffy's assets.
If he had all of these things listed online, that all sold right now.
Are you saying if he didn't have like a blank bank account for transferring stuff in case of emergencies?
She probably does have a blank bank account for this, and I would not be surprised if she had something she could liquidate into it.
Are you alright with me knowing that?
Yes.
As like a hacker, okay. Okay, Okay, if you're okay with that, then I will spend Ithy's money.
Yeah, it's a shell company that can't be traced back to her.
DM.
What? I'm sorry, my brain
How-
just skipped a track.
No, you're good. How indignant can I get before this guy reluctantly just gives me the bank account numbers again?
You're gonna have to. This is not something that's happened to him before. And as you were asked, as Kane is asking, what did not go through?
Mm-hmm.
The frown deepens, and again you see a lip curl that's more snarl, and you're realizing that damn near every tooth in this man's head is nearly shark-like in nature. And
Hmm.
you would almost swear that his eyes even glint a little bit as he takes like a half step closer to you. He's Kane has been around danger, been around the underworld, been in sticky situations. This is a man that does manage to give off a very dangerous vibe. What the hell do you think you're playing at?
And hmm. Mm-hmm.
The iffy on your shoulder is losing its mind right now. She's got so many things she wants to say.
You know what? Put me on the line. Give him the earpiece.
Dave, like he's really thinking about it for a second. He's just like, how do I play this? How do I keep this off? It's like, what am I playing at? Kane will like tilt his head and then take a step forward in like a directly aggressive sort of fashion. He's not drawing a weapon, but he will take a step forward in this sort of like chest puff out kind of way. And he'll be like, what am I playing at? You're the one who upcharged me last minute. If you're planning on getting your money, you should have planned on getting the agreed upon amount before deciding you were entitled to an upcharge. Give me your information and we will get you your money and we will be done.
I need 2 rolls from you here.
Uh-huh.
I need I'll give you the streetwise at
Hey.
3 purple.
Uh-huh.
And I'm also gonna need a cool check from you.
Ah, shit. One purple, right? 1 purple for the cool check. Ha
2.
ha ha. Oh, that's okay. So 3 purple, no black, nothing else, just 3 purple.
Just 3 purple.
Okay, streetwise. Thank God.
Okay.
And cool at 2 purple.
What's your cool, Joe?
It's slightly better than just 2 green, but
I was gonna tell you to use a light plane.
Yeah, we got plenty this time.
we got a lot.
You managed to kind of push back against this man's very obvious attempt at being threatening. But there is starting to become just a little crack in the facade that you're putting up. This smuggler in front of you is not 100% certain if it's a crack of anger or of nerves or what is going on, but there's just that little shake to the end of your statement. He doesn't move any closer, but kind of shifts his weight a little bit, and Kane, you just have the very distinct sensation of staring down a coiling snake.
If this man puts a hand inside of his jacket, Kane is just gonna drop a saber. If Kane thinks he's going for a weapon, Kane is gonna go for his weapon first.
He's not putting a hand towards any weapons that you can see yet, but you can almost feel that he is weighing his options and sizing you up again, shifting one foot to the other. Very much in that position of like, if I'm gonna do something, where do I do it from? Your boss, so desperate for everything I bring them. I have every damn right. Charge whatever the fuck I want. You're the messenger boy. What the fuck do you care?
Don't answer. Just redirect.
So Kane has this moment of like he's formulating a response, and he stops and like gets a little curious look on his face, and he goes, So are you going to give me your information so I can get you your payment, or?
Man.
Who gets paid first? You get paid first? Do I get paid first?
The man, there's a blink. And you can see his jaw kind of working. Before he seems to kind of glance around. Almost expecting there to, like, kind of in a moment of like, am I being punked? What the fuck is this change in topic and attitude? Alexa, you see the eyes begin to scan. What are you doing?
Ever since I got his attention, I said goodbye to the nice Rhodians, and I walked off the docks.
Ducked into a tunnel.
Yeah. I don't need to be inside anymore, and I didn't want the Rhodians causing a fuss, so I'm just like, okay, I'm done, thank you, and just walks off.
He looks back at you, Kane. And just holds out a hand in your direction.
Is this a holdout hand for like a data slate type thing?
Yes.
Okay. Kane is going to hand him a data pad of some kind. Now, above table, I have 350 credits marked on my sheet. If he's got quite a bit more,
Yeah, we're taking from the bank as a fee. Okay.
we'll still be 1,000 short.
We could spend a point and plead a Z to let us liquidate from one of Vivi's shell companies.
Please, Mum, may we have a small loan
Alright, start
of
begging. It's not mine.
999 credits?
Please, it makes a lot of sense.
If this deal does go sour, though, I wouldn't be unhappy.
I have 850 credits on me.
We're almost there.
We're real close.
Let me see. It's literally just like, fuck, man. We're so close. We're so close. Tia's got 395.
Oh, I think we got it. Right?
Tia's got to check her account and just find it fucking dream.
Because I've got 1750, right? Somebody better than me at math do this. I've got 1750. How much do you have?
350.
I have 350 from
I think
Alexa, and 850 from Kane.
Sure. I gotta make sure how much money I have, because that's the number I remember, but I don't see my credits anywhere.
Joe, what's your number? Well, Piper looks at that.
350. What was Tia's? 395?
Yeah.
Oh, then we don't have it.
No, we should.
Plus-
We have
plus my
easily
Alexa.
3K between the four of us.
Yeah.
I will say if you
I
want
don't-
to spend a light side point, because the 850 does sound about right for Vi.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That you guys can. How do I want to do this?
Mm-hmm. How do you want to kill our bank account instantly?
Because the fun
Drain
part is,
everything.
if you guys use all the money for this, if he doesn't have any money to pay Ratha.
Oh. No. How the fuck are we gonna get Mindy?
She'll
Are
just
we gonna
have to
pay him
wait.
back?
We're going
Wage
to
slavery.
get Mindy.
What if... Could I
will
spend that 0 point and say that she just has everybody's bank account and so as a hacker already?
I will say
Just
that
because-
if you spend the hero point, or not the hero point, the light side point, if you will liquidate some assets, you'll lose a little bit of sway over something down the line. And everybody loses half their credits to cap off what the difference is.
I feel like that's a good deal.
I agree.
I'm down. Is that acceptable to Mindy and Kana?
Iris? You're muted.
Is that 175?
Both Iris and Cody, you're both muted.
We can always just steal Mindy.
Why did I do it? That's fucking.
Just
Iris,
fucking
that's not an answer.
carry the fucking pink droid over your head and run away.
You can say no. You can totally say no. I'm 100% fine with saving the hero point and just having this to be like, hey, wait, where's my last however much money? And then it just busts out into a fight. I'm totally fine with that.
Just
We also don't have to use Kana's money.
Yeah, we
as
don't
well
have
for
to use
fun money.
Kana's money. I didn't know you had that much that you wanted to hang on to it, but yeah, we don't have to use Kana's money.
Yeah, I wasn't even. I didn't even know that Kana had money, so that was me saying something, looking at Iffy, Kane, Vi, and Tia.
Then we don't have to touch your money.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
if
we're fine.
the bulk of it's going to come from Iffy and
Yeah.
Vi Alexa. So
It's all right.
Save the 315. That'll be put towards the Buy Mindy fund.
I don't think we need it. Because I think between Ippy, Vi, Kane, and Tia, we break 3K.
yes,
Yeah,
it's just a matter of
Let me get a calculator. Hold the fuck on.
You do break
Yeah.
3K. It's more of a matter
Yeah, we
of
do.
do you want to completely drain all of your bank, like the Iffy, Kane, Vi, and Tia? Do you guys want to essentially completely drain your accounts and not spend the light side point, or do you want to spend the light side point, still have a little bit of money in your accounts?
I think
I'd
that we should
rather-
spend the point because we're going to need the money to buy Mindy and also pay for Ify's treatments.
Yeah. We need the money.
Healthcare.
For
Hold
those.
up. We have 3,345. Just putting the
That's-
official number.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's still we're going to need to be able to pay for
Yeah.
everything else that we're doing. So, as the money bags of the party, I would like to strongly lobby for spending half here and half there.
Is it just going to cut our credits in half, or is it going to cut Kana's and
Just y'all's,
whoever
because
else's?
again, I didn't even know that
Oh,
Kana
yeah.
had credits right now, so Kana can keep her 315 for
Okay.
I'm
now.
fine with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm cool. Spending a point.
And then
Yeah.
there are
Nothing.
future consequences.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. That's for future us. Fuck future us. We're in the present.
So that gives the 4 previously mentioned. Let me take these numbers here. I'm gonna copy this.
Z, are we rounding up? Can we please round up?
Yes.
Yay.
It's
The
75.
198. Let's go.
I just want to say I started this with like 4K.
That's Value Town, baby. It's like
That's
even-
this Value Town. Z was like, by God, I am going to take Kira down to earth.
Look, I gave you expensive items, yes, but it's expensive items that kept you alive, did they not?
They did. No, I'm happy with this trade. I'm happy with this trade.
Your money saved your
Value
life,
Town.
Iffy.
I have lost more money in this arc than anyone else had ever.
Yeah.
The worst, best trade deals.
Okay. So with a tappity tap tap of her fingers, via Alexa, surreptitiously just drains everybody's bank account. Pays the man.
Pulls taps from a whole bunch of bank accounts that she's managed to get her sticky fingers on, and has grabbed one of Iffy's emergency funds and tossed it in to boot. And let me see here. Somebody hit that light side point.
Boop. No!
Oh,
No. It was 6-3. It was gonna be 6-3.
it was? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we both flipped it, so I was a little concerned.
Yeah, because it happened at the exact same time, I think it canceled it out.
Oh,
It
nice.
actually, it
Same
actually
exact time,
didn't
huh?
count it.
Nice.
So, you, Vilex, are able to very quickly gather all of this money and throw it into one of Iffy's emergency accounts. Are you trying to shield that account at all, or are you just like, okay, this is going to be burned anyway?
It's gonna be burned.
Okay.
We don't got time. We don't got time to set up shielding.
If he's got plenty of burner accounts.
Shell company account.
I'd like to hear one of you say that to Iffy's face, because yes, it is true, but at the same time, I feel like Iffy would like have an entire lecture about how hard it is prepared.
Do you got any idea how much paperwork goes into a paperwork-free account?
I know. I've helped set them up.
And after a moment, Kane, you are returned your data pad with an account open waiting for payment. And Vilexa is able to tell you the routing information for the burner account, which at first you're like, what the fuck is this? And then there's some vague recognition of the numbers of like, yeah, I think I remember if he's saying something about that account.
How does she know it?
Huh.
Do you transfer over the 3,000 full?
Kane will do it.
And
That's the sound of money leaving the chat.
Smuggler waits a second and lifts their own data pad. You see them swiping on it for a moment. They pause and kind of stare. Then there's a single nod. They tuck the data pad back into a pocket. Then they look back at you, Kane. How the fuck are you planning on getting that off this rock?
Kane looks at the transfer, makes sure everything looks good. He's not really examining it too closely, just a very surface level examination of it. And then he'll look up from the data pad as the dude hints back to him and just be like, "That's none of your concern. Thank you for your time." And then Kane will take a step back and do the shoe.
The man just kind of like looks at you, and you get that very distinct "bitch, please" expression. And he'll turn and give a little whistle over his shoulder. And you see one of the lifter droids kind of trundle around. And he motions towards the crate that you initially looked at, which is one of the crates that had the Zerka Arms logo on it. Why don't you go ahead and get a shipment for our friends there set up on a trolley? And the lifter, without a nod or a yes or a no or anything, just immediately moves over and grabs, in total, 3 crates and 1 barrel from the various stacks. Places it on a hover cart. Not everything is on the platform by any means. But there is a stack of crates for you.
Oh, we fucking did it. We did it, Reddit.
Oh man, we're arms dealers now.
Kane is going to, like, not look over at Vialexa. He's going to very calmly, like, take a few steps in this direction so that he is well out of earshot. And he's going to keep one hand, lift one hand to his ear so it looks like he's having that official, I'm having an important conversation look. And he'll say to Vialexa, "Thank you so much, oh my god."
Happy to help.
We need the ship to come to this port right away.
I guess I'm going to the ship.
I'm going to stay here and just watch over all of this shit.
Yeah, I'll go bring the ship around.
So as Alexa turns to wander away towards the ships, towards the dawn, Tana, you finally make your way up after your very intense interaction. You manage to make your way through the various tunnels and twists and turns and levels, all the way to the spaceport. And you see Kane after a moment, standing next to a hover cart that has several large crates and a barrel on it. What are you doing?
Oh, I was muted. Double muted. I mean, she saw him from a distance, right? And he's coming toward, like, in her direction, kind of thing.
I think he moved off to a side and kind of is waiting.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Joe.
No, yeah, that's basically it. He's still like on or near the platform, just so he's close enough that he'll make sure nobody will tamper with the gear at all. But he's not like in the midst of people anymore.
I mean, Kana will call Kane then. Phone call.
Hello?
Hey, are things going okay? I'm
I
down the way a bit.
think so. I got to platform 2. There was someone here. I sort of worked out a deal to take their goods off of them. I'm more or less hoping that they are the goods we are in fact looking for. And we should probably pick them up.
Wait, so you don't know if it's what we're after?
I have a good suspicion that it might be, from information that I worked out of Wes.
Hmm. Well, I might have a way to confirm it, at least briefly.
I could confirm it. I will wait until they're gone, though.
I will throw out there though. There may be Bacta in the barrels or the crates. However, for the amount of Bacta that you're talking about, this would not be anywhere near all of it.
Mm.
Just so that everybody is aware. We're talking, you think of a Bacta tank that can fit a human inside, we're talking about like 3 or 4 of those.
Yeah, that's what I was nervous about.
Okay, so Kane will say, if this isn't the shipment and you want to check platform 5, feel free. Don't do anything dangerous.
I've already done enough of that. But here,
What?
let me see what I can do. So Kana has a little remote thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
How does that work? Is it just kind of like she can move one of them in certain ways, or?
It will essentially give you first. You have to be within a certain range, just like a TV remote, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Not as close as a TV remote, but you have to be within a certain range, and it will allow you to activate and deactivate, put in standby, and um put into guard mode is what it has listed.
Could she be standing like over here, like across the platform, and like trigger the closest one? If
Yeah.
this is okay. Yeah, okay. So she'll trigger the closest one, which I assume is the one that's helping Kane like put it on the cart kind of thing.
Yeah. Which one are you trying, like, which setting are you trying to do?
Just trying to put it into standby or like turn it off and on again, kind of thing.
So as you hit the remote, you see that the lifter droid that is closest to the front of the platform goes still. Mid-step, still holding a crate. And you hear a pretty good thud from the other side of the platform. You're not sure what exactly happened, but something fell. And it has distracted the smuggler enough that he has turned and is walking back around the ship, already yelling at one of the droids, asking them what's going on, what's wrong with them.
Flip him back on.
And the one that you can see starts to move again.
Well, that confirms that. I'm pretty sure this is the ship we're looking for. I've got the remote for the droids here.
Kane is standing on the dock to this weapons like on dock 2, looking at all of the stuff that he had forced to purchase with. And he's like, good. I'm glad you found it. And there is so much shame and embarrassment and humiliation wafting over him.
Are there... So he said that he secured some of the supplies, right? Or what he assumes is.
Yes.
Are there any other, I don't know, crates similar to that you can see?
There are, right? Correct?
What?
DM?
What's the question?
Are there similar crates?
Yes.
Yes.
Kane has walked out with 3 crates and a barrel, and there's at least probably 2 or 3 times that of each still on the platform.
Well, let's check what's in here. See which cases might have what we need. We can come back and get more.
Otherwise, say that's your stack of crates and barrels.
Perfect.
And Kana, you're still trying to keep a little ways away, correct?
Yeah, she, like, when Kane started walking back down, I imagine she, like, moved over here kind of thing, like, as if she's meandering, looking around or something. Kind of like, you know, when you take a phone call and sometimes you just pace.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what she's trying to... Like, I can't move my token
Wait.
on here, but...
My mother thinks I'm insane for doing that, but I have to do that. If I'm on the phone, I have to. I can't sit still. I don't know why. Sorry. So, are you waiting for the dawn to show up, Kane, or are you cracking open any of these right now?
He'll crack open a few just to check what's in them.
Okay. So you essentially have 2 crates that have the circle mark on it. And then the crate, the last crate and the barrel don't seem to have any recognizable symbols on them. They do have like some numbers and such on the side that you assume is what the smuggler's using to kind of keep track of things. But there is not anything identifiable to you. What are you cracking open?
He'll crack open one of the barrels and then one of the crates.
Unmarked crate or marked crate?
We'll do an unmarked crate.
Okay. So, when you open the unmarked crate,
Eldritch artifact. Eldritch artifact.
not yet.
Damn it.
There may be eldritch artifacts in the future for y'all, but not right now. You see a crate full of what look to be weapon mods. And as you pick up one that has been very carefully put in a case, kind of open it up and take a look at it, you realize that at least the one in your hand, this is a very dangerous weapon mod. One that is, in fact, dangerous enough that it is considered restricted on many planets. And I think the only one that would fully understand what it might be, Kira, Kane currently has in his hand an exciter overcharge.
Oh.
What is it? I can hear.
A what?
An exciter overcharge.
Exciter overcharge. Gotcha.
To share with the uninformed?
What?
It essentially will completely empty the charge in your blaster for one single shot.
Oh shit.
Ooh.
Oh my.
The mods in the crate don't all seem to be the same, don't all seem to be this exciter overcharge based off of the various boxes and containers that they are in. But there's a good handful of them in there. The barrel, as you open it, first there's a little bit of disappointment as you see at the very top of the barrel some cybernetics. But as you just kind of like pick up a cybernetic and turn it one way and then the other, and then dig a little bit deeper, you realize that there has been a false bottom placed into it. And as you kind of pull and tug, you're able to get like a little bit of a hole that you can look down. And this crate, or this barrel, immediately starts to feel chilly, and you realize that it has been refrigerated internally, where it does not feel cold on the outside, but it certainly does once you get into that interior. And you do know that Bacta tends to be refrigerated.
Haha. Okay, gonna put that back. Put that thing back where I found where it came from. Keep it safe in the box.
So, for your notes, Amy, and so everybody can hear, out of these 4 crates, because you don't know what's in the other 2 as of yet. 1 crate has mods in it, and 1 crate you can mark as having cybernetics, and what will end up equating to essentially 2 personal uses of Bacta.
Huh.
So those are 3 of the 4 crates, or was that only 2 crates?
That's 2.
Okay. So 1 crate has mods in it, the other has cybernetics and...
The barrel has the cybernetics and 2 personal uses of Bacta.
And 2 personal uses of... Okay.
The other 2 crates you don't know what are in them yet. And by Alexa, you managed to get all the way back to the Dawn without any issues and get onto the ship. Start to pilot it in that vague direction, though I will tell you, there are no open platforms near here.
So I had to walk. Right?
Yeah, if you want to like move it closer, you can, but you guys are still gonna have to move that shit towards the Dawn. Dawn's not gonna be able to park right there.
She'll alert them of that ahead of time, like, get it to another dock. No, I'm not helping.
So I'm assuming, Kane, you'll start to push this cart towards the
Oh,
dock
God.
that you see the Dawn landing on.
Yes, it's going to be a long process. But he's going to start doing that, but keep tabs on Kana, because she found the actual Bacta.
She's at the same place you are.
Oh. Oh, I thought I totally misunderstood. I thought she went to a different location, found the actual Bacta, and was like, oh, okay, Kane, so you swing and a miss, but that's okay.
No, we're just confirming.
Thank God.
So
So yeah, we're just gonna start loading up the carts and putting this shit on the ship.
Kana, are you joining them, or are you just chilling here watching this dock?
I kind of want to chill here to see, like, where if he's selling to anyone else. If anyone else comes up to meet up, kind of thing. Because he's locked here for a bit, right?
Yes. It certainly is. Everybody is for now.
Yeah. If you want to take that back to the ship, I can stay here and watch. See if he makes any other sales.
Yep. Kane will look over his shoulder and look back at Kana and say, just be careful. He's more savvy than he might look.
Trust me, I don't plan on interacting with him if I don't have to.
Kane will nod, and it looks like he's going to say something, and he just shakes his head and smiles and will wheel a cart away.
So as you are there, Kana, watching, you kind of tucked yourself into a corner, or you just standing out in the middle of nowhere?
Like, she's kind of over in the corner, like over here, maybe sitting on a box or something. Not directly facing it, but like if she was sitting on this box, she'd be like sitting on this corner here, so she can kind of, as if she's people watching, kind of thing.
Mm. So, as you are watching, keeping tabs, let me see here. And I will, Kana, you can set her wherever you would like. Second. Work with me here. There we go. Roll me a d20, Kana.
Okay.
It's a good d20.
As you're watching, there's the standard kind of movements back and forth and around on the path that you would associate with a space dock. This area seems to have calmed down for the most part. You do see after a little bit that somebody does slowly start to approach and turns and walks up the dock to this smuggler's ship. And the smuggler gives a similar type of greeting to this person that he gave to Kane of like, who are you? What the fuck are you doing here? Type vibe. But as he's talking, you can already get the vibes from him that he's a little more anxious for one reason or another. He's not still and confident as he was when he first came. He's looking around. He is searching for somebody or something. Again, you don't know what or why, but he's not as keyed into this individual. In fact, this individual is somebody you would think would be a little bit of interest. It's a species that you don't see very often. It's a Dwooney, which are relatively stout, kind of edgy-looking species from more of the edges of the galaxy. And they're talking very quickly, using their hands, gesticulating as they're talking. And it is seemingly both distracting and frustrating to the smuggler. But they're engaging in the conversation all the same. You reacting to this at all?
Can she get a little closer?
You can try.
I have a weird idea, actually. Could she get one of the closer droids to move some boxes to like the corner or something? Since the smuggler's kind of distracted right now.
You don't have that fine of motor control on them.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess if I can, I'd like to get kind of like here-ish, maybe?
You're able to walk there, but as you sit there and are looking around,
Oh, I guess like sitting here.
you feel his eyes drift in your direction once, then look away. But as you continue to sit there, you know that with as anxious as this man this seems to be, that he will key into you just hanging out
Hmm.
if you stay too long.
I imagine like she tried to get closer to kind of get a better maybe facial read because I assume she's too far for sense thoughts here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she's trying to get a vibe check essentially, but I imagine like maybe throughout the whole time she kind of like after sitting here whatever she acts as if she's picking up another call and starts pacing this way and then heads like kind of walking the port back and forth, kind of aimless, trying to seem aimless a little bit.
Mm-hmm. As you,
Like, oh, sorry.
the vibe that you pick up is again, he's anxious about something. The conversation, little few words here and there that you're able to pick up, they're very clearly conducting business in Huttese, which you do know a little bit of. And the words that you are hearing sound like a deal is being cut of some sort, or at least being finalized. Whether or not the entire deal has been struck in this conversation, you're not sure. And you do see the movements of data pads back and forth. You seem to be pay being transferred. And again, the lifter droid begins to stack up another hover cart of crates and barrels. This time, a few extra compared to what you got from Kane.
Hmm. When the the new guy walks by, could I try and get a read on any symbols on his outfit or any particular types of weapons or something?
Uh, Give me an underworld knowledge at 3 purple. There's a couple of symbols that you see, though you're not really able to place most of them. One of the crates, has is stylized for a type of hut cartel. You're not sure what it specifically means, but the stylization leads you to think that it's hut cartel related.
Mm. How many more barrels can I see from as I walk by? Like, at the ship kind of thing.
Only one barrel went with this guy and one barrel that Kane had, so there's still about a stack of 10 barrels that you see. It seems like better half of the crates have been given out. Barrels have not.
Okay. Barrels are the ones that she's probably more keyed in on. Oh.
I can do this. And as you make another pass by, this time you feel this man's eyes tracking you. From a dock or two away, across the path of his, and beyond another dock or two.
Hmm.
No words, no calling out, no movements in your direction. But there is a clear awareness of your presence now.
She will pay him no mind. Still kind of doing her cycles or whatever. Probably will end up sitting back on the other side again. She just wants to try and see who is coming through and who's taking the majority of those barrels. That's kind of the goal here.
Okay.
Pop back over here.
I can give you do you think with her, him clocking her that she would move again?
Hmm. Yes. Because she's trying to seem natural. She's not trying to she's trying to again trying to seem like a business person just talking to someone kind of thing. Picking up and taking calls. If she suddenly stops moving completely, I feel like that would be really sus.
Okay. So, one more person comes. It's the time that has taken to get Kane all the way to the ship and everything loaded in and secured, and for Kane and Vilexa to figure out what they're going to do next. One more person comes, and you see that it's a Soikin. Who's also not as prevalent through most of the galaxy. It's a tall, slim, blue-skinned female that is pretty kitted out. And the conversation, though, this man is still agitated. Goes much quicker with this woman. And even in the middle of the conversation, before the payment is being made, it seems that he is signaling for her cart to be loaded.
Mm.
And she has 2 of the barrels. So more than Kane, more than the Dawoon. another crate or two. But as she leaves, you see that all of the barrels are being placed on one final cart. Not a single crate. Kane, Vialexa, you have found a new spot to land. You have secured the cargo. What are the two of you doing?
I kind of want to go through the weapon mods.
Kane, once the stuff is secured and like on the ship, Kane is going to go back out and like, where's everybody else? Vialexa's over there. Where's the rest of the crew? Starting with the one who he saw last would be Kana. So where is Kana? And he's going to walk back to where he had last seen her.
You see her get partway down the dock, and you are able to see the distinctive pink Twi'lek sitting on some crates near where you left her last, near the dock that you had this business transaction at. And I'm going to be real with you, Piper. I do not have that list for that, so going through it is not going to be particularly useful right now.
Okay.
You can open the other two crates and see what's inside if you would like, but I do not have a full
I would
list of
love
everything.
to. I would love to see what we spent our collective money on.
One of the two other crates that you have are marked with Circa arms on them. One you open, and it only has one item in it. It has a mod for a starship that, much like the Exciter Overcharge, is restricted, but rather than restricted for general use, this is generally only seen on military ships. This is a mine layer.
Ooh.
Huh.
It is one of the only items that you can put on a ship that will allow you to just scatter a field of mines for other ships to run into. And just about any mine that you can imagine can be scattered. The
Okay.
other one, let me double check this. Yes. The other one, as you open it up, at the very top seems to have mostly just very generic, very basic blaster rifles and blaster pistols. But under a layer or two of that, find boxes, and you open the boxes and you realize that inside are uniforms. Republic military uniforms. Not armor, but actual uniforms.
Oh. Interesting.
Kane, as you are heading down the dock and you see Kana, you trying to signal to her or anything? You trying to walk over? If you walk over, you know the dude might see you.
Yeah, fuck it. Kane's an adult. Kane's a grown ass man. He can walk where he wants. Their deal is done. Fuck if he sees him.
God, I love Confident Kane. This is great.
Can just hear the silent Kana like, you're ruining my thing. You're ruining me hiding. Now he will see me.
If Kana looks like she is actively hiding, he won't.
Nah, she's just
Like-
sitting on some. She's just sitting on some crates.
Yeah.
Uh,
I was gonna say she was gonna send out a text.
send out
didn't
a mind message, maybe.
If she sees him while she's typing this, then yeah, I mean, sure. If he looks like he's heading towards her, like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Don't. Stop.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
She'll pull out her phone or whatever, I guess, or the communicators, and basically tell him there's only been 2 shipments, but he's preparing for something, it looks like. We should be ready to snag it if we can.
Preparing for what?
And I imagine Kana's like facing how her token's facing right now, kind of thing. So her back's to the port, and she'll say, "I'm not sure, but he's loading all of the barrels into one particular cart. Normally, there's only been 1 or 2 barrels he's been selling with the crates." I think this might be the big buyer.
Kane is a little wounded, thinking like, I was supposed to imitate the big buyer. This is bullshit. That was me. I was the big buyer. But he will nod, and he's not going to walk directly up to Kata. He will walk until he is out of eyesight of that group he just dealt with, and just kind of just post up somewhere nearby and loiter.
Okay, adjust your token accordingly.
Yeah. He will. Well, this is. None of these walls are above waist high, are they?
Nope. Unfortunately not.
Is this like a pillar?
Is it what?
Is this a
Is
pillar
this
in the
like a
center?
pillar?
Yeah, you could consider kind of having benches on either side.
He could sit over on
Could
this side.
Kane stand, off screen?
Put yourself right there.
Oop.
Yes. Nope. Back.
Doo-doo-doo-doo.
Put it back. Yes. Do you walk by and sit down? The man kind of clocks your passing, but doesn't comment on it. Looks back to where he's doing the final securing of the barrels on this cart. And as you are sitting there, Kane, you are the first one to see because of the direction that you're kind of facing. From left stage, heading towards the center. You see 3 figures walking. Alvadius. All 3 of them are decked out in, again, numerous weapons, various body armor pieces. As they get a little closer, you can see, like, one of them has a helmet on, but you're fairly sure that it is a fairly large Ratatake man. Beside him, another fairly large man seems to be human. And kind of trailing behind both of them is a much slimmer, kind of runner's build type woman who you can't quite see what she might be. She's has her head wrapped in cloth. They walk up and past you, only one of them kind of giving you a passing glance, like anybody might as they move past somebody in their day-to-day life. But instead of continuing around the path and down through the space dock, they turn towards the dock that has this ship on it and make their way over. And the smuggler starts to speak, but one of them holds up their hands and seems to be looking for somebody and not seeing them.
Uh, I feel like I need a force power for this because I'm not sure what I could do. I want to vibe check the airwaves because I feel like something's up, but it's nebulous. Is there a disturbance in?
I would do that too.
Is there a disturbance in the force? Because I sense one.
If you're looking for a sheer disturbance in the force, you can make a force check for me. Kana, if you want to kind of sense thoughts, sense motive, whatever the fuck it is, to them while they are kind of still. Where's my mouse? There it is. Like down here and turning, you can. Once they get up here, they're a little too far away for you to vibe check.
Okay.
If you would like to attempt a similar, like, sensing what they're doing, Kane, you can. It's harder to do it for you than it is for Kana.
I'd like to try.
Okay. So, both of you will need to roll me force dice first.
Where's my?
Good. There you go. There
Oh.
you go. Good, good. Let me check this. So, really fast. That will get you your kind of base level stuff, Kana, without rolling anything else. If you would like to try and dive deeper, you can make me a force check at 2 and a black. Kane, you can make me a force at 3.
Force at 3. Shisha. No. 2 advantage, but no successes.
Damn.
So, Kana, as they're kind of turning the corner, you realize that they are, in fact, heading towards the ship that you're wanting to go to. You pick up primarily on the Ratatake's mind. He's the one that ends up being the closest on the outer edge of the group. And there is anxiety, there is concern, there's a distinct need for urgency, a need for secrecy coming from him. It is not to the point of panicking, but more of your standard kind of on the job, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. This is not working how it's supposed to be working. And you just get the very faint trail of a thought before he is out of your range of, I knew the noose was going to close. And then he's out of your range. Kane, you're not able to dive into their minds at all. Not like Kana can, and some other Jedi that you have interacted with can. It's not really been your strong suit, but you are generally pretty good at reading the vibe of a situation at large. And seeing how these three figures move. Seeing how they seem to be kind of locked in step with each other. You know that these three are a unit of some sort. That they are used to being in and around each other and working with each other, and perhaps judging by the weapons that they have, fighting with each other. And as you watch them kind of go by and kind of out of the corner of your eye, watch them retreating up that dock towards the ship. You can tell that the woman is the lookout, as her head is on a swivel the entire time. Whereas the other two are kind of focused on point A to point B, focused on the smuggler. She barely even looks at him. And has already, once they hit the platform, turned and is looking around. Roll me a perception at 3, Joe.
Perception at 3. Oh. Ah. One threat.
I will offer you a deal here.
I'm listening.
Can get a little bit of something, but you will be noticed. Or get nothing, but you go unnoticed.
Give me the clues.
As this woman is looking around and kind of scanning over the port, again, her head is wrapped in kind of this turban-like cloth that she has brought the ends up and around to cover her lower face. So all that's really visible is her eyes and temples, bridge of her nose. But as she turns and it looks down the dock in your direction, you're kind of leaned around, leaned forward just enough to see her. And you make eye contact with her. And you are immediately able to pin the race that she is. As you have only seen that race a handful of times in holovids at the Jedi Temple that were reports from the front lines of the war. That, the original Sith race. You
Oh,
know what those glowing yellow eyes and red skin and notch over the eyebrows are. Anywhere.
oh shit! Oh fucking!
And the
We're in deep.
moment you see her in place. Oh no, I know what that is. You know that she has clocked you as well. Her eyes settle on you, and now she is watching like a hawk.
Kane is frozen. He's staring at her, very visibly aware that he has also been seen, but he is frozen. Like, am I really seeing that person? Is this really where we're at right now?
And as you continue to stare, locked eyes with this woman, and had frozen in spot. Anna, you're kind of looked over your shoulder, trying to see what's going on. You are not able to see Kane, but you see this woman is staring very intently down the dock. You see her start to walk.
Oh boy. I I'm assuming Kane is feeling a lot of anxiety here, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, Kane has like started to go not full blown panic attack, but he's getting very quickly to that point.
Kana is going to try to speak to him, because I assume they weren't comms at first. Is he going to respond or not?
To a comm?
Yeah. Because if not, she will go to the mental link and try to get to him.
He'd probably not respond to comms.
Yeah.
It'd have to be something that literally grabs his attention.
Kane, what's going on? What do you see? Why is she moving?
Is she walking towards Kane?
In a loose sense, because she's caught you essentially where you are, where your token is, and she is having to walk down this.
Kane will, in as simple a way as he can put it, respond to Kana and say, "Here, the Sith. They're here."
Kana instantly gets up and is walking at a brisk pace towards like the back end essentially. She's going to try and get to him, but she's I don't want to say she's not being discreet. She's not straight up running, but she wants to be closer. Pain, you need to calm down and focus. We're both here. There's a whole bunch of people here.
Kane
I
is
doubt-
just watching what she's doing.
I didn't anticipate this gift from you. I can do this to entertain all of you for the moment.
Can Kana try and get like a force read on her? Like pinging, like yes, this is a Sith like an actual Sith kind of thing, like she did back on
As far as both of you are aware, neither of you have picked up force.
Okay.
I will share these. Are the 3 individuals that you have seen approach.
Ooh, pretty.
And you know what, fuck it. I'm fighting with Token Maker right now, and I don't want to fight with Token Maker because I'm getting tired. That circle is her.
Yeah, Kana would try to reassure him, like, we would have sensed her if that were the case.
She gets to the edge of the dock into the main path and kind of looks, pauses, and you can see that her 2 companions have also kind of turned, noticing her absence, and they're watching her. And she lifts a hand towards you, Kane, and gestures with a little crook of the finger, come here.
Come like the come closer gesture?
Yes.
That's not what I expected. Kane is frozen still. He is completely like locked. His feet are cemented in place. But he is like conscious enough to be like, is she calling me? She wants me to come closer? Why? What does she want? And his mind is like racing, but he's not able to find purchase enough to make a decision.
There is a narrowing of the eyes. And you hear the human, which you assume to be the human, call out to her, and it is not a language that either of you peg. She just lifts a hand, like one hand up, and kind of like, not now gesture. And if you don't come closer, you see her eyes narrow, and she starts very quickly moving in your direction.
Kane takes a step backwards, and he doesn't run, but he's like, what were you hoping that to try and boost Kane's confidence?
Somehow, yeah. Bolster. Make him feel stronger somehow. Send calm emotions. Feel better, my dude. You got this.
Kana casts Soothe.
Yes. Kana wants to cast Soothe.
Kane, how would Kana try? Because right now Kane is like full blown, like, I don't know what to do. Like he's not in a panic attack, but he has gotten to the point where he's panicked enough that he doesn't know what to do. His decision making ability has fallen to an absolute zero.
Oh God. Kane, focus on my voice. Listen to me, okay? We're going to get through this. You're going to get through this. It's just a conversation. I'm trying. I don't know where I think I pinned it in our conversations. The force bond thing is kind of the thought that I was the bolster spirits, but I guess, or not bolster spirits, confidence. That's kind of what I'm trying to do here, even though it's not a discipline check, but like I'm trying to get the essence of that, of like clearing the panic and making a straight line for her voice to get through so that he can focus on that, essentially. If he wants to, of course. She's trying to ease the panic or push the panic aside for the time being.
He'll snap out of it enough to see the woman walking towards him, and Kane will come to his senses at least a little bit. He'll take a step forward and meet this woman. But he's not going to say anything. He's going to let her start. He will just steel himself just enough to be like, upright.
You kind of approach this woman finally. She takes one last long step to you. And again, she's not overly tall, not particularly broad. Just strikingly lithe in her movements and body. You can see this close to her. Not only the blaster that is strapped to one leg, but two blades that are crossed across her back. Still sheathed. She's not made any move towards any of them. But you see those golden red eyes kind of narrow. And the cartilage of her brow lower just a little bit in the space that you can see between the cloth. She meets your eye and seems to be considering you very closely. Why are you watching us?
And it takes him a second to register what's going on. And he'll look up, like, past her at the crew, and then look back at her and say, I just dealt with that one over there. And I had a feeling he might be trying to rip me off. So I wanted to stake out his next deal. It's not your fault. And it has nothing to do with you.
Stake out. What do you think that you'll be able to take what's ours?
Kane tilts his head and says, no, but I have a feeling I might be able to get some of my own credits worth back from him. That is, if he did rip me off.
There's just a little click of the tongue under the cloth that makes up her mask. She tilts her head. She seems to be considering you for a moment. So what? Shoot, Captain? She moves into your personal bubble, only maybe 6-7 inches from you, and then looks down very distinctly, then back up. I don't see any blasters.
Kane takes his arm and pats his coat that is draped over his other arm. He just goes, I wouldn't want you to. You're free to go about your business. If I find he ripped me off, and you happen to have the product that I want from him, I will get my money from him, and I will buy it from you. Or I will try to buy it from you. If you're willing to sell.
She stares for a moment, then, without any warning, without even the slightest shift of her weight beforehand, steps around Kane. First to his side, their shoulder to shoulder, and then turns and looks at him from behind. Twists and comes back around. Almost like she's circling him without being able to fully move around him properly. Want to do business with us? Even after you told me. Renegotiate the hard way. Your other business partner.
Kane readjusts his arm with the coat and presumed blaster underneath it, and he will just say, I am in the business of getting what I want and getting what I need. I don't mind doing business with people, so long as I get what I want and what I need from them. At a fair price.
But in this galaxy is ever fair. Tell me, what is it that you want?
Hmm. Kane thinks for a second, and you could see like him choosing his words carefully, and he'll say, "At the moment, Bacta. But that may change."
Back to. And yet you come to a smuggler. All the way out here in the asteroid. Shouldn't that be something you get from hospital?
Anna searches for a second and for an answer and says, "My employer can't get it the easy way. Not during war times. Spread a bit thin."
Your employer.
He nods.
Roll me a perception at 3.
Perception at 3. 4 successes.
Kane is on edge. Kane is, I imagine, hyper aware of everything going on around him.
Mm-hmm.
He is about as backed into a corner trapped as he has ever felt. That he realizes he has gestured to that coat draped over his arm. Feels it moving. Realize she is very carefully, very deft fingers started to touch the coat. Shift it ever so slightly. Looking to see what you have hidden under there if she can move it enough.
Is she moving it with her hands?
Yes.
Kane will put his own hand over the coat. No, actually, you know what? Kane's gonna just grab her wrist and take her wrist back. Just to gently, firmly remove it from his own coat and his own person.
She allows the grip on her wrist. But in the moment that he is pushing that arm back, kind of tucking it away from himself, her other hand snaps up and pulls and tugs the cloth in front of her face, revealing her entire face for the first time. Your employer would do business with everyone. She is watching him more intently. I need a cool check. At 3 purple, I will give you a blue because of Kana being there.
Bless. We're rolling in the deep. Yes.
You're able to keep your composure despite now being literally face to face with a race that was thought to be completely extinct until the start of the war. That you know is nearly the backbone of the entire empire. What's Kane doing?
He will look at this woman up and down, and there's a long and awkward pause, but Kane will say, I think something could be arranged. If you would want to negotiate with my employer. And if you can keep your hands to yourself. And he looks down at her hand.
Just slow, twisted little grin that curls across her face. Cheeky. I like that. Let's say, come have a little chat.
What did I agree to? Kane nods.
He nods.
Name the time and place.
Oh my
As soon
god.
as he nods, she doesn't give him an option. She turns shoulder to shoulder, hooks an arm into his, and starts to pull him towards the platform.
Ah.
Oh, fuck.
Well.
James. Oh god.
Kane, Amber Alert. Amber Alert. Kane has been kidnapped.
Look at Mary Allen being seen dragged through Doctor. Be advised.
Oh my god.
This is why we can't have confident Kane for too long. This is what happens when he's confident for too long. He gets himself into trouble.
Bit off more than I could chew. Bit off more than I could chew.
Say you
No.
have to tell your employer first.
Somebody else.
Fuck it. Kana will move behind here and call his fucking phone. Loudly.
He's like, you could probably hear Kane in your own head before this of just like explaining the situation, just like, I'm going with her to arrange a deal with my employer. Sit back up.
Send backup.
Say you have to tell your boss first. You can't just disappear.
Kane is disappearing.
Oh my god. We've already. Oh god.
So, is Kane following?
He will.
Is Kana doing anything extra to interject here?
He was literally trying to call him
He's
as a distraction.
He's going to go with her, and he will cautiously answer the call and like explain the opportunity. But he is like he's so far in now that he's just like, I don't know if this is if I leave now, I don't know if I'll ruin this potential lead, but this could be something good. Where is Iffy?
We have to find her.
To take the call, this woman kind of stops, and imagine you stop moving to take the call in the middle of a step. So she ends up a half step ahead, so her arm slips out from yours. However, as her arm slips away, rather lets her fingers curl around your elbow. She turns and is watching you very expectantly.
Awkwardly stammers out. Verifying with my employer. They'll want to know where I disappear to after I finish my watch the vigil. He gestures back to the little post where he was posted up, just fucking sitting down.
And there's an unamused look on her face. But she doesn't protest, she doesn't interject. But the moments that she has any sense that the call is over, she pulls the elbow to relink arms. And if Kane is not trying to dig his way back out, Kane is getting dragged along with her towards the platform.
It is a very well-known kryptonite of Kane's that women can drag him around. This is canonically true. So, woman gestures to Sith woman can drag Kane around. He's going with her. He will just keep some sort of mental tap on Kana. Just like, don't forget me.
I won't. I've gotta find the ambassador. I'll bring her as quickly as I can. Just be safe.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then. This seems like a good place to call it. Kane is being kidnapped. Kana is panicking and trying to figure out how to collect Iffy and Tia and Vialexa, because this is going to be a whole new thing that you guys have entered into.
Kane, why can't you just say rain check? Why can't you just say no?
Have you heard Kane say no like Or before this.
He's too much of a
Today,
bottom to say
he did
no.
today.
Kane. Kane.
So next session we will start with Kana figuring out what she's doing, and then move to Tia and Iffy and Mindy. You can note that down, Amy, please, and thank you.
I
Okay.
can follow the ship, right? Like I can follow them.
In the ship?
Yeah.
That's too big.
If they leave Skip 1 after Skip 1 stops being in lockdown, because it's in lockdown right now, they're not, like, whatever they are flying in, you assume is not going anywhere.
Fair.
So what was the end of session notes again?
Next session, start with Kana figuring out what to do, which will give Iris 2 weeks to figure out what to do.
God.
And then we'll shift to Tia and Iffy and Mindy.
Mm-hmm.
Iffy's
And
gonna
the
be fucking woken up from fucking back to coma and immediately like, hey, Kane's been kidnapped by a Sith. We need your help.
Yep. 100%.
I don't like that.
Kane.
I'm being serious, I don't, but that's okay.
What? And what? You don't like that Kane went with the Sith?
No, not that. I don't like that in the sense that I feel like if you're waking up should have some time to breathe, but that's okay.
Well, the only other option that I can say is Iffy just can't be woken up until after all of this is done.
Yeah, it's just less than ideal, but yeah, I get it.
But that'll give everybody a little bit of time to figure out how you're gonna handle everything. And yeah. Y'all again took it in a fucking, I was prepared for y'all to fucking fight this group and be done. But nah, you guys waited.
We don't do that here.
I
You can blame
will.
Joe for that entirely.
Nah, we can
Huh.
partially
that's a
blame
good
Kana for that,
interaction.
because Kana is the one
Yeah.
that waited.
Yeah, that's on me. Interesting